is your Trader. It is Friday morning, TGIF. Wow, what a really, really good trading week. So let's end it on a positive note. Okay, today we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold and silver, crude oil, and natural gas. Now it looks like the NASDAQ futures up about a buck 24. Okay, this video is for information purposes only. Non-recommendation bias on stock market ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin. Now, you can see here how we had this bottoming tail situation. Well, first of all, let's see. We made a nice series of higher highs, okay? And then we had this sell-off. Well, you had a liquidation of about 1.5 billion. We had $22 billion worth of options, and it sold right on down. But where did it go? Right down to that 200-day simple moving average, okay? Just like clockwork. Now, I've been pointing out this candle right here, okay? See that? Okay, 107,680. Now we're holding that here so far on a closing basis, and that's exactly what we need to do. This has looked like a consolidation period. Now, what we have here today so far is we have this higher high, which is nice, and now we're above this 8-day. Okay, so that 8-day is going to be key because this is what happened when you get below that 8-day. You just fight it the whole way. We get above it, it holds it nicely, and we take the price higher. All right. So what we're looking for on the upside is right here. Today's high, 111,845. Now, next target is going to be right there, 112,280. Then we'll be looking for the old Hondo here at 113,558. And then we have your 50-day sitting right there at 114,303. And then your 21-day at 115,290 level. Okay. Now, obviously, if we get above that, then this is going to be your target at 116,515. And then we can just venture all the way on up here. But we have to get through this thickness here because you got the 100-day, the 50-day, and the 21-day. Once we get that, then we have all the levels that we can take right on up here. Okay. Now, on the downside, this is what we're looking for is got to hold this 109,767. That's going to be very, very critical. Now we'll come down here, 109,470 level. Then we're going to look right here to the left of the chart here. You got 109,270. Then we'll come down to the bottom there at that, what do we got going here? Oh, yeah. Okay. We have 108,555 level. And then we can retest this level here, which is ready pretty much here, that 106,950. Let's just call this 107 level off of that bottom there. Okay, so this is very, very critical, but as long as this holds, we're in good shape here to maybe take this thing higher, at least sideways action. But if we lose this area, well, you're going to retest this 200-day at 103,911, and we could possibly even retest that 50-day at 102,952 level. Okay, now here on the upside, this 8-day did not cross over that 21-day. See, 113,869. And then 112,986. You don't want it to cross over because if that 8-day crosses that 21-day, this is the reaction of what happens. Okay, so right now here we're looking pretty good. We have so far what they call an inside week. Your high and your low is the inside of the previous day week here, but we got one more day to go. Okay. Now, RSI here, this is not overbought, oversold. The green is below your red, but now look and see how we are at the bottom here. We get that to curl up, and look at the little bars, how they're moving on up. We get that to curl up, and we so we can take this here to that 100 SMA here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on the upside. Their target is going to be looking for that 113,558 level, and on the downside, you really have to hold this 8-day at that 109,771 level. If not, we're going to retest right here this 107 level, and then possibly retest that 103. Now we look at the RSI on the weekly. Well, this is only 52. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is still below your red, but we got to get back above that 21-day and back above that 8-day. Once we do that, then we have a lot of good area levels there to be tested. You got that 118 level there. Okay, we got that 120 level. We got right up here that 123, and then your big retest of 127,240. All right, we cracked that 127,240. It's 130, 135 level here coming up. But again, you got to be very, very patient here. Now, easy way to trade this. IBIT for the long, that's a 1-to-1. BITX is a 2-to-1 leverage, and that pays a really nice dividend. You're paying about 12% dividend a year, but it pays it monthly. So this month we're getting about 59 cents a share on the BITX. And then you could also do a short ski on this here with BITI. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, when you look at this, we had this really, really just a beautiful run up. I said, as long as we're above that 8-day, it's sideways up action. And then we had this big ass red candle. Look at this, okay? Now you have like what I'll call a possible bear flag that is in here, okay? So bottom line, what you're really doing on the downside is watching this a 40-60 level. That's that 21 day. If we lose it, you're going to come right to the bottom of this candle right there. Look at that 40-21 level. Okay. Then what we do is we just come right to the top of here. You're looking at that 39.22 level. We'll come over here to the top of this candle here, 38.24 level, and then we can come all the way down to this 37.87 level, which is your 50 SMA here. Okay. But again, it has to lose that 21 day in order to head in that kind of a direction. Now, on the upside here, well, what we do is we watch it yesterday's low. You're looking at that 40.79. We'll look at today's high. You're looking at 41.59. And then we're looking all the way up here at 41.75. But this is the big boy right here, is that 8 day at 42.10. That is your 8 day. Now you can see how we have a little bit of roll action. But that doesn't mean it's gonna cross over. But let's just see how this all plays out. So right now we got a little ping pong action between the 21 day here and that 8 day. Okay, if we get above that 8 day, well, then we have a nice target up here at 43.98. We lose this 21 day, and then we can come. This is going to be your big target, is 37.87. Now we got to an absolute nosebleeds situation here. You're looking at way about 85 here on this RSI, and this never lasts. Okay, we had a really good run in. It was a really good scalp for me. I mean, on the GLD, but I would just do a daily scalp because simple reason is this. Okay, always keep in mind when you have these big nosebleed areas. Okay, then she's gonna come off. Now the green crossed the red, which means this shows you your momentum right to the downside, which is pretty obvious. But just watch that 21 day. That's gonna be very crucial on a closing basis. Now, silver, another thing, big possible bear flag situation going, just like we had here. See this? Then we rallied up here and then another down. Now we can't get above this 21 day. So upside, that 21 day is going to be key, 48.76. Okay, we get above that, we can come out to yesterday's high, 49.22. But really, you're looking for that 8 day at 50.08. That's going to be very critical. Now, you get above that, obviously, we come to the top of there, 51.61. Okay, 51.83, and then we just work yourself up, 52.63, until we get to that 53.76. Now, again, the 8 day is rolling over, but it has not crossed that 21 day. So that means that can roll right back up here just as easy here too. But again, this is a big possible bear flag situation going on. So today, what we're really watching, today's low, 47.38. Look right down here, 46.82 level. Okay, we lose that, you come right to the bottom of this candle right here. Okay, you're looking at 45.71, and then we come up there, 44.77, and then we're looking for that 44.33, your 50 SMA. Now, again, way nosebleed overbought situation here. Come on out. I mean, FOMO was just chasing this, and now she's just coming off here, have a little correction. The green crossed over your red, momentum to the downside. So let's just see how this shakes out. But again, you have to get back above that 21 day in order to go higher. We start losing this candle right here, 46.82. Your target's going to be that 50 day. All right, let's take a look here now at the old crude oil. All right, here we have crude oil. Now, crude oil is running up here very nice. We got to this low of 55.96. What we're looking for here is this 55.30 and 55.12. It didn't quite make it there. But again, the reason this is rallying up here is because T-Man is putting sanctions on two of the big Russian oil companies. And, anytime you do anything mixed with oil, it's just like what we had here. That was that war premium, about $10 when you had the Israel-Hamas whole thing going on here. But again, a lot of times that doesn't last. We'll see how that work out. Basically, the T-Man wants to get that Russian, that Ukraine war settled once and for all and get it done. Ceasefire, not just a ceasefire, but just end this and move on. So he's putting sanctions on there. And that's why oil is rallying up here, kind of like a relief rally kind of a situation. But we got to see how this is going to shake out here, because right now what it is you can see how it ran up very nice, but where'd it go? Right into the 8 day. Then once it got higher than that, that tells me I got to get into the trade. Then it rallied up here very nicely. The following day, it blasted through the 21 day, but now we're really stuck right at that 50 day. Okay, so you're sitting at 62.18. That's going to be very key on the upside. Now, if we get above that, we'll come right to the top of this kind of candle here at 62.92 level. Okay. Now, we get above that level, we'll come up right to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 63.26, and then we'll be looking for the old 100-day sitting right there, 64.47, your 200-day, 65.79, and then we have your retest up there, which is right at 66.42, which is basically just the top of that candle. Okay, all these blue lines are just price channels, and all they are just tops and bottoms of candles. Makes life a lot easier. Okay, now, downside here, well, that 60.42, that 21 day, that's everything. It's got to hold. If not, we'll go to yesterday's low at that 59.64, and then we come down here to that 8 day at 58.86 level. Now, We lose that, we'll come to the top there at 58.08, and then we'll come to the bottom there, 57.34, and then we'll come to the bottom there, 56.35, and then we have your retest 55.96. We lose that, 55.12 is the target. Now remember, the market is fully supplied as far as on the crude side. Okay, so always remember that. Plus, this time of the year, the summer driving and everything is not really happening. So this here is just that premium situation, and he's going to put sanctions. So always take that in consideration. Okay, now easy way I trade this is UCO for the long, SCO for the short, and it's a really nice, easy way to trade the old crude ski. Okay, now 65, 54, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red because it shows good momentum there to the upside. The key is going to be getting and closing above that 50-day in order to go to the 100-day, in order to go into the 200-day. But again, this is why I like trading oil, because it's always in play. It's not just the EIA numbers, the API numbers, the rig count, which is out today at 1 o'clock. It's always in play, okay? Any kind of a situation where they threaten oil or this here or that there, oil's on the move. Okay, let's take a look here now at natty gas. All right, here we have natural gas. Let me bigger up there for you nicely. Okay, see this? Topping tail. See this? Topping tail. Double top. Okay, very simple, very clear. Now, big red candle yesterday. Today, now we're coming down. We're holding the 21 days. So after I was double top, when we're up here, I said if it sells down and holds this level, okay, the 21 day, which is 3.26, that's your support. Or if it holds at 3.23, which is your 8-day, or your 100-day, which is 3.21. If it holds that, this could be a good buying opportunity here to take this back up here, at least to that 200-day, possible retest of that 358. Again, we got to see how that shakes out. All right. So right now we have like an indecision candle. So we're just kind of like limbo. Okay. So right now that's your support level, that 21-day, that key 8-day, and then that 100-day at 321. Now we lose that area. We're going to come right to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 3.13. And then we have your 50-day at 307. And then we have this gap fill. Okay. See that gap fill at 302. See, there's your gap. Okay. 313. There's your fill, and we have the 50-day rate in between that situation. Okay, now it doesn't always have to come down to fill that gap. Here's a perfect example. See where we had this? 277. Look to the left here. What do you have? 277. See that? Double bottom. See that? She's a beaut, Clark. Okay, now, if it starts going into that gap, well, then we go and we look for the fill here at 274, but that's not what it did. It held that gap, and then it rallied right on up situation. Now, we had this gap here, but look at here. See how that gap is filled now. Okay? But we still have not filled this gap. Not saying that's going to go down there. Eventually it will, but it's not, maybe not today. Okay. So on the upside, we're watching today's high, 3.43 level. Then we're looking at the bottom of this candle right there. You're looking at 3.38, and then 346, that 200-day, that's the key. Then we go off to yesterday's high. You're looking at 350 level here. We can come up to here to 355, and then we have 358. That's going to be your big breakout. Okay. Now again, we get above this 358. Then it's very simple. All you do is just bring this price channel right across, and what do you got? Okay, see that? 362. Bring this price channel right across. What do you got? Okay, 375. Then we always look to the left of the chart here, 384, and then we have 388. Okay, we have 394, and then we have 4 flat, and then we have roughly 4.15. Okay, but again, you have to close above that key 358 in order to do that. But let's just take a look at what we can do here today. Maybe we can get a little scalp going here off of this 21-day if it holds, and maybe back to that 200 SMA. Okay. Now remember, natural gas is coming into its own right now. This is the time of the year between now and the December area that we're looking here for the old natty gas. And again, we still have a nice, good bullish chart. Bottom, okay, low, higher low situation. Okay, but we had this double top, so always watch for anything that gives you that edge. And when you see this double top like this, that tells you that, this is, unless you close above that 358, that would negate the double top. But right now it didn't, and she came right on down. So let's see if that 21-day will hold, or that 8-day and that 100-day. You have a lot of really good support sitting right here, and maybe we take a little trade right back up. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks. Remember now, this is Friday, so don't get like over your head kind of a situation. We want to make sure that we live to trade another day. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.